Thank you very much, Mr. Bell. Gee, that was too kind of an introduction. Maybe some of us noticed today, thanks to the rain, the roof was again leaking. But it's really wonderful to be here. It's been a few years, at least a couple years, since we've been together like this. And I am thrilled. I am overjoyed to be here. I really appreciate this opportunity to share with you this evening. I am truly honored, humbled to be invited here this evening to honor the birth anniversary of a true champion of humanity. Dr. Bhimrao Ramji Ambedkar fits that moniker better than anyone else on this planet. And there are only a handful of people who even come close. I'm honored, I'm humbled, and I'm a bit intimidated by the task of giving a speech here this evening of such a significant person that really needs no introduction. I know I don't need to convince anybody here of the magnitude and the importance of the life of Dr. Ambedkar. Dr. Ambedkar is part of an elite community of conscientious humans that actually think, feel, and do the right thing at the right time for the right reasons. I'm still a bit nervous, but I'm only giving a small speech. To Babasaheb, a small speech was converting millions of his followers away from a religion that kept them in social bondage, and to a religion that gave them much greater freedoms. I really have no reason to be nervous. I did not devote my every waking hour to the advancement of the voiceless, the ones struggling in society, in a society that has woven the inhumane caste system into the very fabric of its being. I should not be nervous. I am not facing thousands of years of entrenched brutality that has shaped a society into a pyramid where my brothers and sisters lie at the base, bearing the weight of those above, the weight and the excesses of those above. Nor did I grow up in a period of capitalist colonial occupation that oppressed my family and millions of others. Why am I nervous? Why am I apprehensive? I did not sacrifice years with my family to focus solely on my studies. But my studies did not result in multiple degrees from the most prestigious universities in the world, I assure you. I also did not take it upon myself, as did Babasaheb. I did not take on a career in law and in politics so that I was best prepared to represent the people directly during the birth of a new nation. I did not put upon my shoulders the well-being, the uplifting of millions of Dalits, but Dr. Ambedkar did. I have no reason to be nervous. I have just bonded with the spirit of one of the greatest humans on this planet, a role model for generations. His shoes will never be filled by 2 feet, but they will be filled by lakhs and lakhs, millions of feet, all walking the same direction on the path to achieve the ideals of Dr. Ambedkar. Standing here, I am no longer nervous or apprehensive. I have been empowered. I've been empowered by a spirit, inspired by a man who was willing to chair a group of religious leaders only to tell them that their religion is poisoning society, as it had from its very beginning. This is powerful stuff. This is powerful stuff. This is knowledge. Babasaheb shows us all how knowledge can lead to emancipation, to freedom. Know your lot. Dr. Ambedkar knew his lot. He completed his studies. He wrote his doctoral thesis on the entire history of Indian economic history from the 18th through the 20th century. I mean, that is no small task. And what did he learn? What did he learn from that? Everything. Pretty much everything. Full stop. But knowledge is only one lane on the path to emancipation. Knowledge in the hands and the hearts of compassionate people, compassionate humans who act instead of staying idle. That is what is required to journey on this path. Our battle is not for wealth and power, says Dr. Ambedkar. Our battle is for the reclamation of the human personality. More powerful stuff. We have the best role model I could ever imagine. I'd like to share a couple other quotes. Timeless quotes that apply to every generation. The first shows why action is so critical. Lost rights are never regained by appeals to the conscience of the usurper, but only by relentless struggle. That pretty much speaks for itself. You really have to fight for your rights. And encapsulating the essence of Dr. Ambedkar, in my mind, this quote captures the essence. It is education which is the right weapon to cut social slavery. It is education which is the right weapon to cut social slavery. And it is education that will enlighten the downtrodden masses to come up and gain social status, economic betterment, and political freedom. Educate, agitate, organize. It was not so much Dr. Ambedkar's capacity to learn, the brilliant intelligence that made him so special. What made him so special to me was how he devoted his soul, his entire soul, to the betterment and the welfare of all of his extended family. That is, every low-caste individual in the entire country and beyond. I am no longer nervous. I am no longer nervous to stand in front of crowds and say, I have found a new role model. One whose dedication, determination to succeed, and whose devotion to those without a voice is second to none. He is in a class by himself. We have all picked a winner. But the struggle continues. We feel that every day. The struggle continues, and though it can feel like we are swimming upstream, as the current gets stronger, that just means we're getting near to our destination. Share forever the wisdom of Babasaheb. Forever gain strength from his spirit. Jai Guru, Jai Bharat, Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
Thank you. First of all, I'd like to congratulate everyone on Dr. B.R. Ambedkar's birth anniversary. He was a great political influence and an even greater man himself. My favorite quote of his is, I measure the progress of a community by the degree of progress of what women have achieved. His quote is applicable to society today. Women have come far since his time, but I believe he'd still be disappointed in our progress. White women in America got the right to vote in the 1920s, but colored women had to wait decades until they were seen as equals to their sisters. Women in India were given the right to vote in 1949 by the new Indian Constitution after their independence. This constitution was written by Dr. Ambedkar. As a matter of fact, Dr. Ambedkar had 15 women in the Constituent Assembly because of how firmly he stuck to his beliefs. Equality may be a fiction, but nonetheless one must accept it as a governing principle. This was also said by the doctor. These statements were not only rooted in his personal beliefs, but empowered by his amazing educational background. His degrees and PhDs gave him credibility in the eye of the Indian government, which led them to entrust him with the Constitution, as well as many other political positions. His political career was transformative and impactful. He instilled new governing principles and pushed for reform. He believed in eradicating socio-economical inequalities and dismantling the caste system. He believed that economic and socio-development, education, public hygiene, community health, and residential facilities were the basic amenities provided to everyone. During his life and career, he made an impact and inspired others to fight for what they believed in. His death in 1956 was an unfortunate loss, but his message still lives on. He left us books, the Constitution, and other manuscripts to empower us, to keep us pushing for progress. We may never reach that point of progress that would satisfy his drive for equality, but we can keep pushing and keep trying our best so that his spirit lives on through us. Thank you.
Jai Bhim, Jai Bharat.
Hello everyone. Today I'll be sharing a few words about Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar. Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar was an Indian jurist, economist, social reformer, and political leader. He was also known as Babasaheb Dr. He was born on 14 April 1891 in Maho, Madhya Pradesh. Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar had so much struggle in his life to get the right education he wanted. He faced a lot of injustice, yet he did not let that discourage him. He strongly believed in himself and that education should be provided to all sections of the society. He completed 10th grade from Elstone High School and graduated from Bombay University, Columbia University, and London School of Economics. After returning from the United States, he fought for the fundamental rights of the lower caste. He would always stood up for the equality of all people, whether they're high caste or low caste. Dr. Ambedkar played a major role in framing the Indian Constitution, and since then, he's called the father of Indian Constitution. He held the post of the first Law Minister of Independence. He renounced Hinduism and became Buddhist in the year 1956. Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar left this world on 6 December 1956. He was posthumously awarded India's highest civil honor, the Bharat Ratna, in 1990. The Dr. Ambedkar's life is such a great example of struggle and success that is rarely seen elsewhere. Thank you.
Famous historian, prominent jurist, renowned scholar, a statesman, social scientist, emancipator, great educationalist, true nationalist, prolific writer, revolutionist, a great visionary, and at the top, a great constitutionalist, was born in the soil of India on April 14, 1891. Dr. Ambedkar was a man of thirst for education, example for the activists, and acquired MA, PhD, MSc, DSc, Barrister at Law, LLD, D.Lit, among other educational qualifications. He served as Law and Justice Minister in the first government of Free India. Ambedkar served on the Defense Advisory Committee and the Viceroy's Executive Council as Minister for Labor. He inspired the Buddhist movement after renouncing Hinduism. Ambedkar was voted the greatest Indian in 2012 by a poll organized by History TV 18. The government of Maharashtra has acquired a house in London where Ambedkar lived during his days as a student, and this house is converted into a museum cum memorial to Ambedkar. Dr. Ambedkar is considered as the greatest alumni of Columbia University. A bust was installed in his honor. Columbia University Vice President and Provost, while awarding the degree of the law, said, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, as a great reformer and a valiant upholder of human rights. Granville Austin described that the Indian Constitution drafted by Ambedkar as first and foremost a social document. Talking about Dr. Ambedkar in his speech at the Indian Parliament on November 8, 2010, U.S. President Barack Obama said, "We believe that no matter who you are or where you come from, every person can fulfill their God-given potential. Just like Dr. Ambedkar could lift himself and pen the words of the Constitution that protects the rights of all Indians." Dr. Ambedkar was an eminent economist. He wrote 3 scholarly books on economics. Number 1, Administration and Finance of the East India Company. Number 2, The Evolution of Provincial Finance in British India. Number 3, The Problem of the Rupees, its origin and its solution. He played a vital role in the formation and establishment of the Reserve Bank of India. Professor Amartya Sen, 6th Indian to get prestigious Nobel Prize this time. Ambedkar is my father in economics. He's a true celebrated champion of the underprivileged. He deserves more than what he has achieved today. As such, Guru Ravidass, a notable Indian economist, said, Ambedkar was the highest educated Indian economist of all times. Dr. Ambedkar was a great visionary social scientist, emancipator, and a devoted social reformer who wanted the social movement not as pornography, but as the right of the underprivileged community, and tried to produce in them the will of independence from the shackles of the unjust caste system. It is important to go back to Dr. Ambedkar's view on women. His vision of a discrimination-free society was the main impetus behind ideas about women. He wanted women to have the right to divorce, intercaste marriages, and above all, women's empowerment. The Constitution of India grants equality to women. He focused on social economy and political justice and tries to eradicate social and economic evils that India has been facing until today. He was a universal icon of liberty, equality, and fraternity. Dr. Ambedkar stocked his library with more than 50,000 books. It is almost impossible to state his extraordinarily vast educational experience. No wonder he is also popularly known as the symbol of knowledge and the sign of information, for which the world respects him as great knowledgeable. Once Ambedkar read about the great personalities of the world, but now he is read by the great personalities of the world. His messages to his followers, educate, agitate, and organize, still resounds in corridors of Indian socio-political right. Indeed, Dr. Ambedkar was one of the foremost makers of modern India and was awarded posthumously Bharat Ratna. On December 6, 1956, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, a great son of India and an outstanding personality, took his last, leaving behind billions of his followers and students. Though he unseen to our eyes, but felt in the hearts of all, his ideology and vision will remain reality and be today. Before concluding my speech today, I would like to congratulate everyone on the birth anniversary of Babasaheb Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. Thank you. Jai Bhim, Jai Bharat.
भीमराव ने तेरी देन फैलावांगे, घर घर जाके तेरा मिशन फैलावांगे, घर घर जाके तेरा मिशन फैलावांगे। घर जाके तेरा मिशन बुलावांगे। हक वोट दा मजलूमां लई डंडी वोट दिशा वरगा, इक नाला गरीबां नूं तू प्यार दिता सी मां वरगा। ओ हक वोट दा मजलूमां लई डंडी वोट दिशा वरगा, इक नाला गरीबां नूं तू प्यार दिता सी मां वरगा। तेरी दित्ती कुर्बानी नूं सिरां दे नाल निभावांगे। भीमराव नहीं तेरी देन बुलावांगे, घर घर जाके तेरा मिशन फैलावांगे। दुनिया याद करेंदी है तेरी दित्ती कुर्बानी नूं, मर्द बराबर हक दिलाए भारत विच जनानी नूं। दुनिया याद करेंदी है तेरी दित्ती कुर्बानी नूं, मर्द बराबर हक दिलाए भारत विच जनानी नूं। तेरे शुभ विचारां उत्ते सदा ही फुੱਲ चढ़ावांगे। भीमराव ने तेरी देन बुलावांगे, घर घर जाके तेरा मिशन फैलावांगे। गिद्धड़ो शेर ने बन गए जेड़े झंडे तेरे हाथां दे, अग लुका के रखनी औखी हुण ते थल्ले कक्खां दे। गिद्धड़ो शेर ने बन गए जेड़े झंडे तेरे हाथां दे, अग लुका के रखनी औखी हुण ते थल्ले कक्खां दे। प्रेम चुंबर दे वंगू साहिब तेरे ही गुण गावांगे। भीमराव नहीं तेरी देन बुलावांगे, घर घर जाके तेरा मिशन फैलावांगे। भीमराव ने तेरी देन बुलावांगे, घर घर जाके तेरा मिशन फैलावांगे। भीमराव ने तेरी देन बुलावांगे, घर घर जाके तेरा मिशन फैलावांगे।
Thank you, Mr. Please.
बड़ा ਨਵੀਂ ਇਹਦੀ ਥਿਊਰੀ ਨਵਾਂ ਇਹਦਾ ਖਾਸਾ ਇਹ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਦਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦਾ ਬਦਲ ਦੇਣਾ ਪਾਸਾ ਲੁਕ ਲੁਕ ਕੇ ਰੋਂਦੇ ਸਿਆਸੀ ਲੁਟੇਰੇ ਇਹ ਅੱਜ ਕੌਣ ਆਇਆ ਸਵੇਰੇ ਸਵੇਰੇ ਇਹ ਅੱਜ ਕੌਣ ਆਇਆ ਸਵੇਰੇ ਸਵੇਰੇ ਸ਼ੰਨਾ ਤੇ ਟਾਰਿਆਂ ਦਾ ਦੱਸਦਾ ਉਜਾਲਾ ਆਲਮ ਚ ਹੈ ਹੁਣ ਕੁਝ ਹੋਣ ਵਾਲਾ ਲੱਖਾਂ ਲੋਕ ਜੁੜ ਕੇ ਨੇ ਪੈਂਦੇ ਚਫੇਰੇ ਇਹ ਅੱਜ ਕੌਣ ਆਇਆ ਸਵੇਰੇ ਸਵੇਰੇ ਇਹ ਅੱਜ ਕੌਣ ਆਇਆ ਸਵੇਰੇ ਸਵੇਰੇ ਬੜਾ ਸ਼ੋਰ ਪੈਂਦਾ ਗਰੀਬਾਂ ਦੇ ਦਿਲ ਇਹ ਅੱਜ ਕੌਣ ਆਇਆ ਸਵੇਰੇ ਸਵੇਰੇ ਇਹ ਅੱਜ ਕੌਣ ਆਇਆ ਸਵੇਰੇ ਮਰਾਓ ਨਹੀਂ ਤੇਰੀ ਦੇਣ ਭੁਲਾਵਾਂਗੇ ਘਰ ਘਰ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਤੇਰਾ ਮਿਸ਼ਨ ਫੁਲਾਵਾਂਗੇ ਘਰ ਘਰ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਤੇਰਾ ਮਿਸ਼ਨ ਫੁਲਾਵਾਂਗੇ ਮਰਾਓ ਨਹੀਂ ਤੇਰੀ ਦੇਣ ਭੁਲਾਵਾਂਗੇ ਘਰ ਘਰ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਤੇਰਾ ਮਿਸ਼ਨ ਫੁਲਾਵਾਂਗੇ ਨਾਲਾ ਗਰੀਬਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਤੂੰ ਪਿਆਰ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਸੀ ਮਾਂ ਵਰਗਾ ਉਹ ਹੱਕ ਵੋਟ ਦਾ ਮਜ਼ਲੂਮਾਂ ਲਈ ਠੰਡੀ ਬੋੜ ਦਿਸ਼ਾ ਵਰਗਾ ਇੱਕ ਨਾਲਾ ਗਰੀਬਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਤੂੰ ਪਿਆਰ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਸੀ ਮਾਂ ਵਰਗਾ ਤੇਰੀ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਕੁਰਬਾਨੀ ਨੂੰ ਸਿਰਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਨਿਭਾਵਾਂਗੇ ਮਰਾਓ ਨਹੀਂ ਤੇਰੀ ਦੇਣ ਭੁਲਾਵਾਂਗੇ ਘਰ ਘਰ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਤੇਰਾ ਮਿਸ਼ਨ ਫੁਲਾਵਾਂਗੇ